I often tend to look out the window whenever I see someone walking past, in the corner of my eye. No big deal. So this all started when I noticed a woman, somewhere near her 20s, maybe early 30s, walking by quite often, as in 5 to 10 times every day. No big deal, of course, she probably just lives nearby, I thought, which I later found out that she did. But this woman had a very uncomfortable look to her. It didn't look like she had a shower in a while, and she had this extreme smile to her face, constantly, as if someone had stapled her face into that expression. I didn't think much about it until I noticed that she started trying to make eye contact with me. Since she walked by my window so often, I often caught her in the corner of my eye and unintentionally looked at her. Every time she got eye contact, she would start giggling and laughing uncontrollably. This went on for a week or two. I just thought she was mentally ill or something, to be honest, and I didn't think much of it. But one day, she walked past an insane amount of times, at least 20 times in a couple of hours, and each time she was constantly looking in my window when walking by. This is when I started getting uncomfortable. After unintentionally getting eye contact again, I quickly turned my eyes to the computer again, only to see in the corner of my eye that she has stopped, standing outside my window and looking right at me, laughing uncontrollably with her creepy smile on her face. I quickly pull the curtains and I try to ignore it when I hear the doorbell. I open the door and there she is. I'm alone at home and I start to get some serious creeps. I was at the time babysitting my friend's poodle and picking it up to use it as some kind of protection. Stupid, I know. I say, "Hi," and she responds with a very, very happy hello. She then says, "Now it's your turn." I have no idea what she wants and I only respond with, "Okay." She then starts laughing, like a lot, as in she just heard the best joke of her entire life. I start panicking and I shut the door after quickly telling her to leave. I tell my parents when they come home, and it turns out that this woman is an old student of my mother. She says that she is mentally ill and that I shouldn't worry. She is supposedly nice. Her visits outside my window continue every day, and I tell my parents again that I feel uncomfortable. Then they try to talk to her to see what's up. My mom decides to ask her why she's doing this, and the woman tells her that her and I have some kind of supernatural connection in our heads, and that her and I have conversations with each other through some kind of telepathic way. We are made for each other and madly in love. That's when my parents are getting concerned. Her visits continue on a daily basis, and we visit the police to see what can be done. Their answer is that we can't do shit because of stupid laws in my country. She often rang my doorbell, but I had the sense to not answer. I noticed that as time went on, she got worse and worse mentally. She started to show aggressive behavior against my parents when they asked her to leave. I've actually never seen my dad so uncomfortable and overprotective as he was at this time. He was worried as well. One day, something happened that was enough for me. It was Friday night and I was home alone. I was watching TV and I heard a strange noise from the street. I peeked out the window and there she was, outside my window, dancing and screaming and singing and doing all kinds of strange things. I put all the lights out in my house and I pretended not to be home, but I could still hear her. She was outside still. My neighbors ended up calling me several times, asking if I was okay, and I said I was, but I wasn't. I was scared. My parents were hours from coming home, and all I could do was watch TV, pretending not to be home. She stayed for an hour or two before leaving, and the week after, me and my parents decided to take action. We visited different mental hospitals, or whatever you call them, and tried to tell them what happened. But there was one problem. They didn't have her as a patient and couldn't help us. Neither could the police. To make the rest of the story short, it's been way too long already. This continued for the entire summer, and towards the end, she would often spy on our house, playing some sick game with a child that she had started hanging out with. At this point, she was kind of scared of us because she knew we had contacted the police and different doctors, and they were shouting things such as, "You see that house? Watch out for them, or they'll call the police." And she and the child would run and come back minutes later, repeating the same thing. The police have visited our block several times, hunting her when she is clearly out of control. There are so many incidents I can tell you about this story, but it would take way too long to tell everything. I don't live at home anymore, and I haven't been bothered by her since, except the time that she tried to contact me on Facebook. I blocked her instantly. That was my summer of 2012. Not the best of my life.